Thanks everyone for being there with us. You know, all of you that technology at the moment is reshaping all the football, sports, and live event industry, the way it operates and the way it grows. Most important, the fan expectations are just growing in a record speed. Gen Z and Gen Alpha are waiting for much more than just being on the stadium. The journey for everyone now is starting a long way before. And as the industry adapts, now the questions are quite easy. How do we design the sports? How do we design the experience? How do we expect for 2030 to evolve in 2034? And how the ticketing must innovate to support new products. So for now, we are with a great panel. A panel of leaders that is shaping really all this transformation. So I'm going to ask one of the first questions to Francesco. 3D digital venues. It's how fans visualize the stadiums at the moment. What does and how do you see the evolution of the virtual venue experience look like in the future?
Thank you, David. First of all, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. We are excited to expand our footprint into the region, and we are learning a lot from our peers today, and I'm glad to share the stage with such talented panelists. So, as you may know, at 3D Digital Venue, we create digital replicas of venues, and we help organizations in different ways. On one end, for instance, we help them when they are building new stadiums. The region is growing, and they are expecting to build new stadiums. Now, as you, David, said, in the next 10 years, a lot of stadiums will show up. So being able to generate a replica of that stadium and being able to showcase it, communicate it, transfer the hype to the customers or the potential patrons, it's very important because the patrons are attending the event, and it's a passionate time. It's a passionate moment. They want to see their leaders. They want to see the expected superstars, and they pay money for this because they want to have something in exchange. So being able to present, showcase, and transfer that passion, it's super important. And the most important thing is, how do you guarantee that you are going to do what you were literally saying? Create a pre-match experience, have a very nice during the event experience, but also a post-event experience. How do you guarantee that you keep that hype? This is very difficult because you need to offer them a lot of things, you know? Loyalty programs, add-ons, how do you connect with the fan? How do you understand their profiling? How do you create the proper segmentation for that? And you can only do this if you connect with the right partners in the industry, okay? You cannot do this by yourself. And that's the proof of the panelists that we have here, you know? So we do a part which is important, is the hype and the wow moment, but we need to connect it with someone like WeBook just to understand, you know, how do we communicate and we translate these, or with Atos, what Nacho is doing. How do we extract all that data? How do we create the proper segmentation, and what else can we offer on top, you know? And I'll stop it there.
Yeah, no, that's all good. And when you say you start the bridge, so Hamdi, great to have you here. At WeBook, you're redefining all the ticket intelligence, the way it works. What is the biggest shift you've seen in terms of what the fan expect now?
First, thank you. Thank you for hosting this amazing panel and this amazing event. I think this is a great experience for all of us to come and exchange and drive the industry further. And also, I would like to express my gratitude for being at WeBook today, because WeBook puts us in a position where we can have a visibility on a huge set of data, behaviors, and a lot of insights come from that, and where it comes an answer to your question. The first thing that our fans are requesting today is an immediate purchase. So it's not about how many clicks, 2 clicks, 3 clicks. They just want to think about it, and it happens. On the other side, they require transparency, especially in terms of fees, especially in our industry. Ticketing has always been seen as an opaque industry. But today at WeBook, what we are offering to our customers is a full transparent pricing models, either on the primary ticketing or on the resale. And the third thing is flexibility and real ownership of their tickets. When you have a PDF, it can be stolen. You can send it to someone by mistake. It can be falsified. But today, they are requesting full ownership and full flexibility. I want to resell. I want to send my ticket easily, smoothly. I want to upgrade. I want to have all this accessible and have this flexibility driving to the event.
Yes, thanks. And
Thank
you were just talking about the pricing also. It's just the balance revenue to keep also the ticket at a normal, let's say not a normal, but a price
that's a
people
tricky
can
one.
afford. I know.
That's a very tricky one. And as a moderator between supply and demand, because this is our role today. We don't control pricing on the supply side fully. And our role and our position as a moderator between supply and demand puts a lot of huge responsibility on us, because we can match supply and demand to find that sweet spot, the sweet spot where everyone feels like they got a fair value of that exchange. So today, for example, a lot of clubs, a lot of organizers, they come to us to do their pricing strategy for a certain match, or sometimes for a certain season, because we have the data. We know the fan. We know not the fan as an individual, but the fan as a group, and we can. What do clubs care about? Is it about immediate revenue? I can tell you no. We do ticketing for all the clubs here in Saudi, and what they care about is a cheering full stadium, and this is their first priority. So for them, revenue comes second, because they know the outcome or the value they get from the full cheering, passionate stadium outpaces the immediate value they get from ticketing revenue.
Thanks a lot for that. And it goes to Nacho here with Atos. So we were talking ticketing, we were talking modeling, we were talking now also connectivity. And really at the moment, the smart stadium are quite the standard, what everyone wants. Tell me, regarding the technology, what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge and to deliver in the coming years?
Hello, David. Hello, everybody. Honored to be here sharing this panel with Francis, with WeBook. So getting back to venues, and we were talking about technology, business, new things, but I will recommend always to start with the basics. And the basic is connectivity. You need to make sure you have a high density connectivity, call it 5G, 6G, whatever, and well managed for all your key stakeholders. In a typical venue, you have media, you have broadcasters, of course you have your fans, but also you have your internal actors, like concessions. You need to make sure people can enter into the stadiums. You need to make sure that they can park, that this is connected to transport, and very important, crowd management, security, how to make sure that that journey that you were talking about is fully enjoyable, is secure, and technology, that connectivity layer is just the first step. On top of that, you start building services. Services to the fans. We can talk about LED boards. Services to media. We can talk about, video distribution, all the services you may need. But I would recommend always to start with the basics, high density connectivity for everyone.
How did you see this change in the last past years?
Well, huge, because we came from a time where everything was cabled to a time where you can have hybrid connectivity depending on the type of user we are talking about. It's not the same as standard fan, a family that is attending a match, to a professional, VIPs, premium hospitality, ticketing, access control, video crowd management. You need different density, different privileges. You need different services.
Yeah. Clear, what has been done is huge. When it's coming, it's more than huge. I really think that. Francesco, in terms of the 3D digital, how do you see the fan expectation? How do you see the involvement and to make a fan decision? What is your role in this kind of thing?
So it's an interesting question because it really varies depending on the type of fans, the generations, and especially the regions where you're going. So we launched a few surveys just trying to understand, for instance, the millennials versus the new generation Z, and how do they interact. And you know what? I was surprised and scared at the same time, because Generation Z, they prefer to interact online with everyone. And they are even considering, almost 50% of them, just to attend virtual events. And that scares me, because what is a virtual event for them? So they interact a lot with video games, for instance, And I don't know if you've seen, but there are platforms, just to mention a superstar. Justin Bieber is using a platform where he performs privately in a place full of sensors, and then he's streaming that on an application over the internet, and millions of people can follow his performance, okay? And we are seeing that the new fans are looking into this, but I hardly believe, and this is my personal opinion, that this can replace the in-person, event or solution. But we need to deal with both lives, So can I see ourselves, or even WeBook, selling tickets for online events, for virtual events? Maybe. Why not? Because the attendees would be interested on that. I've been receiving more and more requests about, hey, you guys do these digital twins, and there are the OTT, let's say, players, and the stadiums, they have a limited capacity. They are asking me, hey, a stadium like FC Barcelona, a big team, or Manchester United. Manchester United has capacity for roughly 75,000 people, but they have a fan base of roughly 100 million followers on social media. How can you seat them all in a stadium? That's impossible. But the fans from Riyadh, or the fans from Japan, or the fans from China, they want to be part of the experience. So what we are seeing is they are asking us, hey, can you create infinite replicas of that venue, put them on the cloud, sell virtual tickets, accommodate them and seat them, and let them follow the action? So from a technological point of view, we are working towards that. But again, we need to work for both environments. One is the physical world, where we have the challenges, as I said, the pre, the during, and the post, and we need to still resolve certain barriers. Hey, how do you guarantee that when you go live and you have 1 million accesses on your system is not going to fall? That's a real challenge. Going back to what Nacho said, connectivity, firewalls, queuing systems, and then the identity, as Hamdi said. Hey, how do you guarantee that that ticket is unique and you are not going to transfer it to someone, or you are not going to scam someone? But at the same time, you need to make sure that you are going to be able to open this or unfold this to the other fans of the world. And this is opening interesting conversations about monetization, because can the ticket of this virtual event be the same price of the physical one? Definitely not, but what's the proper price? And we have been running models with some partners just to identify how to do that. And don't get me wrong, the numbers are amazing, but at the same time, it's scary to think about that duality.
Yeah, because as you say now, it's not regarding ticketing. It's not just you go to a game, you purchase a ticket. It's you want a journey. You start the journey by clicking, and then needs to offer something in the future, and also what you are doing at the moment. How do you see this change from just purchasing and now engage the fans into the journey?
Thank you. Uh, well, we see the action of purchasing a ticket not as a transaction anymore. It's a handshake. It's a start of a relationship. The question is, what is this relationship? The relationship is a fandom relationship, a fan to a club, a fan to an artist, and especially to a club. Sometimes we are born with this relationship. Like if someone loves Manchester United, he wouldn't change that ever, even from the age of early age. So from our perspective at WeBook, we are moving to a hyper-personalization era where everything should be personalized around us. And I'm not just talking about our industry. This is a trend that is coming with the progress that we are seeing in terms of AI, generative AI, and all that. And it's not enough today. Maybe if I had this question 3 years ago, I would say the boring answer of, yeah, we know our customer, and we know when they purchase, we know their preferences, so for that we can recommend better for them. Today the question is not about that. What value can you give to your customer that you already know really well? So, and that value, and connecting to what was said in the panel earlier, is, picture this. Someone buys a ticket. I know it's his first ticket, so I drive him through an experience where he can get a ride to the exact ride in the same purchase, to a ride to exact gate in the stadium, a guide for the stadium where he can find food, because I know he doesn't know the stadium. Someone else who bought his 50th ticket. I know he's a super fan. It doesn't, all these things that do not matter to him. What matters to him if him and his son in the stadium, and I surprise him with a notification saying, hey, you just got an access for a meet and greet with with Cristiano Ronaldo or with, and that value, and allow me to explain here, that value cannot be unlocked by ticketing alone. All the stakeholders in this summit should work together, and we will be forced to work together towards this. Few decades ago, it was about open API. Everyone integrates with everyone. We exchange data. I don't think this is going to be what is needed for the next era. I would call it's an open agent era. Now, systems should not only exchange data, systems should take decisions, immediate decisions. What I was talking about the meet and greet, it's not my call as a ticketing platform. It's maybe the access control with the broadcasting, with the club, with the whole right. But the decision needed to be taken immediately, and that's where we are moving. Systems will become agents. There will be less platforms, more experience, and agents, they need to exchange data, decide, and deliver value, immediate value to customers, and that requires a lot of work from all of us. And hopefully we can do it. Otherwise, we won't be here in 5 years.
For sure, that's for sure. And one thing you just said goes for me. Real time. So all this information at one point needs to come from biometrics to the app to everything in real time. How is it manageable?
This is connected with what you said right now. We come from monolithic stadiums, venues, and this is not anymore like this. We are talking now about theaters, multiple purpose venues that can be used for sports, for events, for concert. And then when you set up the foundation of that interconnected data, you need to make sure several things. First, that people, they don't attend a game anymore. It's not 90 minutes anymore. It's a full journey. And this journey is interconnected on several layers. You need to make, you need to be the venue is part of that ecosystem, and needs to be driven by the customer expectation. When you are traveling right now, you are used the airline to offer you upgrades, to offer you, I don't know, if you have a transit, to offer you a lounge. Football is not different. It should be by design in the menu. But we need to, the venues needs to be part of this smart ecosystem, allowing the user to be able to use it at the maximum level.
Yeah, because at one point, what you just said, if you don't have all these things together, people won't come.
Yeah, of course. At the end
So
of the
90
day,
minutes,
it's better to stay home. You know,
90 minutes, okay, you go for your football game, but you want much more than that, and that's
and
a
you
full
expect
experience.
to order from your seat. You expect to avoid queues. So
Yeah, and so it goes, well, each of these questions could go to each of you, because that's the ecosystem and how it is, and it should be, in a way. Francesco, regarding the visualizations, you were talking about the Gen Z. Now there is a new one, Generation Alpha, so 2010, 2020. So do you work on different layers? Do you work on different approach for what you are doing?
Yes, definitely. And the audiences are also very different. And I should say, after Corona, it changed even more. So in our experience, the way how they consume content is self-evident. If you have kids here, you will know that it is at home. Everything that they consume is quick and fast and immediate. And the same how they experience events. In the past, you were going to a football match, or I was going to the football match, and I was sitting there for 90 minutes and watching my superstars, and I was able to stay there. They want action. They need changes. They need real premium experiences in that regard. We've seen a shift in that model. After Corona, now every average premium user is younger. They have money. They want to go to the event with their friends. In the past, it was more corporate, so premium was more for corporate or for wealthy people. Now, the new generations, even though they have money to spend, they're going to go there with their friends because it's an experiential moment. And they do care about the match, but they care more about the experience itself. So we've seen that the whole experience has been changing in a sense that you need proper menus on the on the VIP area. So you need to have specialized menus. Depending that on the audience that comes, maybe you need Asian food, or you need burgers, or you need Italian cuisine, or you need Lebanese cuisine. So they are more picky about those things. And again, they go out and they sit down and they enjoy the match, but they go inside and they try to socialize with their peers. Sometimes those areas are for friends, but also for business, more and more. And how do you adapt your offer, your online offer, to something like this? In the past, companies were renting premium spaces. Right now, we are offering technology, for instance, to allow you to upgrade your seat, because you go to an event like this and imagine that you are sitting on the general admission, but for whatever reason, you received a push notification to your phone saying, hey, if you pay an extra X number of dollars, you will be upgraded to this premium experience because there's availability. And they do it. And they can do it while they are on the match, thanks to what Nacho was saying. They upgrade in real time, they pay the difference, they release the old seat, the old seat is available for someone else, and they go and they join their premium experience. All of that was unthinkable 10 years ago, but now it's doable. And we do it from a technological point of view. And where does that put us from a visualization point of view? So we need to show the premium space. And the premium space is relevant because for a premium holder, it's you want to take a look at how is it going to look like. You want to have access immediately to the menu. You want to understand what I'm going to get there. And you want to understand then if I'm going to be able to leave fast, because these new generations, they want to go to the event, but they want to leave the first ones, and they want to be the first one that they are served with the food and all that. So we are creating wayfinding experiences, visual wayfinding experiences, algorithms to calculate how do you ingress and egress people from the venue, and all of that represented on a digital environment. So now, as you can see, the digital twin is an excuse, but it's a tool. And as Hamdi was saying, you need to provide this and you need to give APIs to the partners, because otherwise it makes no sense that you are there. Now we provide a tool and APIs, and they can paint or use us as a complete whiteboard. They can paint their data, access control, surveillance, upgrades, ingress, egress, everything. And that's how I see ourselves in the future, you know, positioning us a tool that you can use just to guarantee that your users comprehend the situation, comprehend the venue, they consume more, or the average transaction value gets bigger because you can convince them.
So it goes perfectly to Hamdi also again. Huh? This experience Francesco is talking about, it's also this experience you want to make for the people. Because WeBook is for sure ticketing, but not only. It's an ecosystem also. How do you see this experience for the fans in the coming years now?
Well, it depends how many years. If we're talking...
Let's say 5 for now.
Wow, 5 years is
And let's talk
it's a long
2034.
span. I'll tell you something. At WeBook, since inception, what we do every quarter almost, we go on a big workshop, we redraw the full customer journey from the moment they are aware of the event to the moment they leave the event, with all the touch points, all the emotions that come with that, pain points and all that. Lately, we are doing this almost every week because things are changing really fast, and the pace, the scary pace, I wouldn't say scary, I wouldn't put sorry for that, but the pace with which technology is evolving, especially on the machine learning, AI, the way we today interact with digital is changing drastically. As an example, today, most of my searches are with voice. I just ask the AI and I get the results. I don't go to Google anymore, as an example. And that will have that's a small change today that will have a drastic change in 5 years. So back to your question, I think it will become natural, finally. The experience will become natural. I'll be walking around in my house, or a fan will be walking around in their house, and their WeBook AI agent will tell them, hey, did you know that your club is playing next week? Yeah, I did. I knew about that. Do you want to, I see a few tickets in your favorite area. Do you want to book a ticket? And it becomes a discussion. It's the natural way. Today, you pay an extra $3,000, $4,000 sometimes to get this VIP concierge service where someone just to call you, arrange everything for you, the car, the flight, the hotel. The future is that this is going to be democratized. This is going to be cheaper and accessible to everyone. So to continue on the experience, would you like to take your son to dinner? I'm pretty sure you'll be hungry after the thing. Or do you want to have your food, your preferred food? Like, I don't know, the hot dogs and fries between the in between the sets. So more and more natural, to a point where it becomes not about the platform, not about the infrastructure, it's just about the experience. And we are looking forward to that, but we see a lot of work that everyone needs to do to achieve this. On another side, if you allow me, of this thought, we look at our industry, the fun industry, we call it. We look at it as the last man standing ahead of what's coming, ahead of this hyper-digitization, dehumanization of everything we do in every industry. Because football, I'm hoping that football will always need 22 humans to play, and it will always be better to go and see it in a stadium rather than in a VR headset. We have a mission. Everyone here, we have a mission. We're gonna be the last man standing ahead of this rise of AI. So
yeah, because as you say, it can become a danger at one point. All these things, well, you still will have like 20, 50,000 people, 80,000 or more in the stadiums. But to keep them, that's all this experience you have to give all of them. Regarding the venue modeling and the cost and design, how do you see that coming, developing all the projects in the coming years? How do you work on it?
Well, generally speaking, and this is connected, because at the end of the day, all is connected. You know, the key is when venue owners, organizations, they set the fan, the user, at the center, and they understand what are the pain points of a person using the facility. Because if we think about it, what is always different on attending a sport event live is the atmosphere. This is what we are looking for. But mainly the young generations, they are more demanding than we were. So they are expecting to have knowledge of what they had at home. So only by understanding the pain points, you can keep the people at the venue. And you need to make sure that the journey is comfortable, that they can have the same quality in terms of food, we mentioned, in terms of services. They expect to have live virtual replays from different angles in the stadium. They expect to have the same quality of what they have at home, and a plus, and a premium, which is the atmosphere. So if, when designing the venues, when creating this ecosystem, the owners, the organizers, they put the user, the fan, at the center, and they understand the pain points, then they will succeed.
Yeah, that's what you say, Hamdi, when you say the last man standing. At one point, that's what you all need to do, guys. I have two questions for the three of you. If you have to choose, each of you, let's say one innovation football must adopt in the coming years, in the next 5 to 10 years, to really become something huge for the fans in terms of venue, ticketing, what it would be? Starting with you, Francesco.
It's a $1 million question, I believe. I don't know if we will have the right answer, but obviously, if you take a look at what's going on in the industry, everyone is talking about AI, okay? And that's, we could open a discussion for hours and hours about AI, because everyone believes that AI is going to solve things and is going to unemploy people and all that. And I hardly believe that that's the case. I have to say that, in my opinion, AI is a nice complement, and we should embrace it, and we should use it. As Hamdi was saying, the assistants or the concierge or whatever you want to call it needs to be part of this experience. And this is going to be driving our lives in the short future. So in our case in particular, I can talk about generative AI and conversational chatbots. Both technologies are interesting for us. On one hand, we have the generative AI. We build content, we build assets, and everyone believes that AI is going to replace us. AI is never going to be able to create things as accurate as we do. AI is nice to, generate concepts and generate ideas and foster, that mindset for the innovation. But at the end of the day, you need to have specialized people that sets the feet on the ground and understands how to apply these for what we do. But on the other hand, AI could help us, as he said, just generating those conversational chatbots. We do believe that the way we buy tickets or we consume premium is going to change. And there are a lot of generations, especially the old ones, that they don't want to type, they don't want to interact, they just want to talk to their assistants. A lot of people have these speakers at home with the assistant. I want to be able to go and say, hey, Alexa, buy me 2 tickets for that particular match. And immediately, boom, I have it on my wallet, attached to my WeBook account. So that's something that is coming, but it still has a long way to go, And at the same time, recommendations, as you said, hey, we are generating tons of data that are going to the databases. How do we manage that data from an ethical point of view, from a security point of view, and how do we generate recommendations? It's another discussion, but definitely I see AI playing a big role in the next chapter of our technological lives, I would say.
Thanks for this one. Hamdi,
Thank you, Francis. I think you said everything. So I'll remove the technology hat, and I'll wear the old school football fan
which is
hat.
also a good one.
I'm a real fan of football. I play football. I watch football all the time. And other than this huge technological change that is coming to all the industry, I would say, and that's maybe an unpopular opinion, I see football losing ground as a sport, as a viewership for esports, for example. And innovation, I think, will make a huge impact, especially with the newer generations, is some changes to the rules of the game. Don't ask me which ones, very controversial. But changes in the rules and also making football more interactive. Like, let's say in Formula E, fans can interact with the race itself through boosting and all that. Why not in football? Because the new generation they have an attention span much less than the 90 minutes is a lot. And if you don't interact, if you don't have a say or express an opinion and interact with the course of the game, this might be a huge risk for football in the future. Let's hope not.
It's the same for you.
Well,
Game changer, said a lot.
Yeah. Game changer is no doubt AI. But on top of the journey and the fun, I will focus on operations, venue operations. It will change the way the venue owners operate the game day, not just because of the amount of data generated, because of the complexity. Also, you mentioned before, because AI will make decisions in real time. And this is super important because all this data needs to be secure. So there is a very important point for the AI integrated with physical and cybersecurity. To give you an example, real data, from the last Euro, we had more than 8 billion of cybersecurity incidents. So this gives you the idea of what we are talking about. So using this technology will be the game changer for sure.
So we've got a few minutes, and I've got also another $1 million question. You were the three of you talking about clubs, working with clubs. Specifically to them, what would be the first advice? Because sometimes clubs are reluctant, they want to change. They don't know how. You three experts, leader in your area, what would be the first advice to a club in terms of your expertise?
It's always hard to advise your client. So I'll be very good. I'm joking. Yeah, definitely working with clubs. We see different level of maturity. Clubs are in. We are managing almost all the clubs here in Saudi Arabia, and we can see that there are a lot of areas that needs to be taken in order. You cannot talk about digital experience before you have infrastructure. You cannot talk about infrastructure before having a venue. So there are a few things that need to come in a certain sequence, and my advice would be take that in consideration while planning and putting expectations. That would be my advice.
What I would say is, if I can add something on top, and I know that maybe it may sound like science fiction, but trying to unify criteria is something important that we've seen in other leagues. For instance, working with leagues in Spain, in the UK, in the US, trying to find a unified experience where every club is able to deliver at least pretty much the average experience. It's super important for the fan, because then you start comparing. You know, hey, why is that club offering this and I'm not able to get that? And this is important because from a tech stack, it defines the base. And I think both the clubs and especially the leagues, they need to do that step forward and say, hey, we are going to define the basics from now on, and every organization will be able to use it with open APIs, with everything that we've been discussing here. And I know that this is a challenge, and as I said, maybe it may sound like science fiction, but this allows resolving the inequality, you know, because there are clubs that can do things and there are others that cannot. And with this, we're going to guarantee that more fans attend to the events, that they have access to the web shops, that they consume more, and they can have a better experience. That's my 5 cents.
I started, you know, very simple, you know, with connectivity, and my advice will be on data. They will need to set up the proper database, make it to make sure who is the owner of the data, make it accessible. We talk about it to all the key stakeholders, and secure the data. Simple, but key is a foundation for the rest of the services.
If there is one little thing you would like to add before I thank you, guys.
Just saying thank you. It was a pleasure to be with all of you.
Thank you. Very grateful to be part of this industry, to be part of this event, and thank you, everyone.
Same here. An honor to be here with you all and to share this with the audience, and we really look forward to continuing the conversation after this panel.
Yeah, I see the future is really bright. People don't want anymore just a ticket, just a seat. They want a full experience. And thanks to you three, you're going to allow them to have this experience. And as you say, I loved your expression, last man standing. That's true at one point. You're totally right about it. Thanks, everyone. Thanks a lot.